this is Hannah. I'm an art student and illustrator living in Osaka, Japan. And today I want to talk about the differences between art school in the United States and Japan, or at least the differences that I have experienced. So I actually talked about this before about 9 months ago, and I will link that in this video. So that's sort of like my part 1, and this is my part 2, 9 months later after finishing my first year. So just to give a quick recap about my art experience, I graduated from a 4-year art college in the US with a major in illustration. And right now I am attending a senmongakko, which is just, in my case, a 2-year program where it's more of a specialty school or a vocational school. And my school is a design school. So we also have product design, fashion design, graphic design, and also comic illustration, and I think some other things like animation. I know we have animation, but some other ones that I maybe am forgetting as well. So it's a different experience just because of that. So I just want to make that clear. But there's other things that I think are unrelated to the two types of school that I think should be noted. So first is, I would say, style. So when I went to school in the US, anime, manga, inspired stuff, inspired art was definitely discouraged. I feel like any kind of teacher where maybe you're in community college or high school, you're showing them your portfolio for college, they're going to tell you to take that stuff out. And that's maybe changed. I'm 35 now, so I'm now at an age where I could be admitting students in, and I grew up with animation from Japan, and I may be more accommodating to that style. I'm not quite sure if it's changed. So if you're a current art student in the US, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it was definitely discouraged when I went to school. They basically told you not to put that in your portfolio. But here, everybody, almost everybody in my class has an extremely anime manga style, which makes sense, we're in Japan. But I just didn't know the extent of it because Japanese illustration can also be very graphic, for packaging or for posters. But I would say the majority of my classmates definitely seem more interested in the game industry, and that's more where their art looks like. So that was a surprise to me, and that's still kind of a surprise to me, and it's something that I'm still struggling with, and I'm worried about whether my art will be acceptable or accepted here, and if there's a place for it. I think there is. It's just you can feel kind of like the odd one out sometimes. And I am trying to incorporate some things that I like. So I really like the poses and figures in more anime styled art, manga styled art. So I've been practicing poses and figures and faces. Those are the hardest for me. But I'm gonna show you a book that our school put together with some of their sister schools to advertise to prospective high school students to come to our school. And you can see art from some of my other classmates and classmates in like the Tokyo school and things like that. And you'll see what I mean by anime style versus my style. So right away, I think you can see what I was talking about. It's definitely got anime manga vibes to it. This is really cool though. And I'm not saying it's bad. I just can't draw like this. I think these are incredible. I definitely can't do scenes like this. But you can see this person's game illustration. So that's not something that I'm aiming towards or capable of. This person is comic illustration, so you can tell that it's definitely maybe more in that direction. This one's digital illustration major. So I think you can see what I mean. Everybody's work, even though it's different, I'm not saying it's all the same, but they definitely have, I think, more of a similar theme that my work definitely does not have. But this one you can see is a little different. It looks, this is manga. This person's major is manga. So it definitely feels less digital and a little softer. I think it's really beautiful. There's another comic illustrator. This one's just illustration. She goes to my school, and you can see her art is quite beautiful, but the face style is definitely, anime manga style. And then this is my page. I feel like it's like, what? It comes like out of nowhere. I feel like it's a pretty like hard turn, I feel like, from this like beautifully rendered, scenes to just like my kind of a little bit, more simple. They're a little more simple, and they're, I think, a little bit more children illustration looking, or maybe children's book. I think maybe I should have chosen fewer things here and done a bigger piece instead of this, but that is what it is. And then this person, he goes to my school as well. His work is a little different. It's definitely got, anime game vibes, but it's done in very much his own style. And so is this person. It's like comic, but it's, not super anime style. It's got anime inspiration, but also very much American inspiration, especially those eyes. This one's very cute. She's comic illustration. And then again, this person obviously is another hard left turn like me, or hard right turn. He does large paintings, and unfortunately I think this doesn't really give them justice. They're really, really beautiful in person. You can really see the size, and I think this kind of, unfortunately, blows out some of the color because they are not this light in person. But let's just go through the rest of it so you can see what I mean. So this is also, there's a lot of these are comic illustration. So very cute little character designs, very impactful, I think, with the two large pages. This is cool. See, it's like, you can see these are different people, but they're still got that anime manga vibe to it, but they're done very differently. So yeah, I think you can see what I mean. The second point is that we have homework in each break. So summer break we had homework and I had to really rush to finish it. Winter break we had some projects that like basically continued and we had to finish because they were due pretty much as soon as we came back. And now during summer break, I thought we wouldn't have anything because it's the difference between the 2 years, but actually we have like the most homework now. So I'm supposed to do 2 paintings that are between B2 and B3 size, which is pretty large for me. And I also need to do a piece of artwork that is inspired by Art Nouveau. That I'm planning on doing digitally because I'm actually going on vacation, and so I think I'm gonna have to bring it with me to get that work done. So that's been a huge shock. I mean, when the semester was over, or where I went to school, when the term was over, the term was over. Like, we were free, you were done. And right now, it's actually the beginning of recruitment season in Japan, job searching. And so the fact that like I have to worry about getting these paintings done instead of looking into jobs is kind of annoying to me, because Japan, they start recruiting for the next year. So you start your job usually in April of the following year. So they start recruiting even in some companies have even closed recruiting. So I feel like I need to be applying to companies and perfecting my portfolio, not spending time making paintings that are just kind of for fun. So that's a little vexing to me, but at the same time, it does force you to make art when otherwise you maybe wouldn't. That doesn't happen to be me, but many of my classmates are pretty young, so maybe they wouldn't make art on their own, but some of my classmates are extremely determined individuals, I think, and I really feel like it's poor timing to be giving us all this homework. But it actually brings me to point 3, which is the Art Nouveau assignment that we have is related to a exhibition. So this Art Nouveau art that we make, and I think it's even with some other schools potentially, is going to be displayed in a mall, and our work will be available to be seen by many different people. And my experience in the US was our work was never exhibited. It was definitely shown like in our school exhibition, you could get shown in our school exhibition, but like that was it. But since going here, I've had many opportunities actually to have my work seen. My art was chosen to be seen at an actual like art gallery in Osaka. I also was able to get my art shown. I was selected to have my art displayed in a hospital in Kyoto. And through having my book published in this book for advertising our school. They also decided to display our art in Tokyo, which is amazing. My art was displayed in Harajuku, and I really didn't know how much people would really be able to see it, how accessible it was, how big of an exhibition it was. But 2 people found me on Instagram through that and took pictures and sent them to me. So I will show those pictures, but that was incredible. I didn't expect that at all. In addition to those bigger opportunities, in one of our classes, we've had to make artwork that then specifically gets exhibited somewhere. So we watched rakugo, which is like traditional Japanese storytelling kind of. So we had to go watch it. It was really long, but then we had to illustrate the story in only 4 panels, and that was displayed at the community center. And then another assignment in that class was we had to do ukiyo-e kind of inspired landscape, and it could be digital or done with analog. I chose watercolor. I'll show it. I don't think it came out very well, but that was displayed somewhere else. So I've had my work displayed at like 4 or 5 places in the course of a year. There were no opportunities through the school specifically that was pushing our work into the world where I went to school. And to my knowledge, other schools don't really do that. I could be wrong. I went to Art Center College of Design. That was my experience there. I don't remember there ever being opportunities given to us through the school to show our work like that. And then there was also like a school competition. I got like a $5 like gift card to Disney. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Or I guess 500 yen, so even less. But there was just these little opportunities through the school that they provide for us that I find really great, you know. And I don't even mention the Career Center. That's sort of a 0.4, that's a bonus point, is there's a Career Center at our school that specifically you can go to that will help you look for jobs, especially as me as a foreigner, navigate the website. She was doing research, helping me with what I sent her, and telling me how the process works. And me as a foreigner, that's probably more necessary than maybe a Japanese student. But there was just a portfolio like design class. There wasn't like somebody there saying, this is the process of like how you should maybe make your resume. We did make a resume, but how to make it like good information, how do you find these companies? There really wasn't that kind of structure. It was much more you figure it out on your own, which I do think is kind of more of an American style in my opinion. But the Career Center has been a game changer for me. It's really relaxed me a lot, and she's the one who basically told me like recruitment season is now. I wouldn't have known that otherwise. So yeah, those are the 3 big things. You know, first one would definitely be style. I'm very unfamiliar with the style. It's very different than what was popular, I would say, in the US, and I'm not familiar with it. Number 2 would definitely be that we have homework during the breaks, whereas I never had homework during the breaks at my school. That was insane and unheard of. After the term, everybody was dead. Everybody was just barely making it through. So I think people would have rioted if we had homework. And then number 3 is that our artwork is being shown in the world in ways that never were at my school. So that's been incredible. And then the bonus one is definitely the Career Center. I've found a lot of relaxation in being able to talk to her. And yeah, honestly, there are still more things that I'm thinking of as I'm making this video, so maybe there'll be a part 3 at some point. But thanks so much for watching. Bye! Okay, so I just sort of want to show my paintings that I made this year since I've been at this school. Basically from the first one that I did. So this is the first painting that I made this year. It was for a class, obviously, and the theme was onomatopoeia. Japanese has a lot of onomatopoeia, which are like sound words. And I chose za za, which is what you use for rain. I'm still happy with the concept, but I'm not super psyched about the outcome. I would redo it. I just feel like I was very timid, and it's all very light, and I wasn't very confident in my strokes. Another painting that I did, also, I feel like I was a little timid And this one's on illustration board, which I was a little bit more worried about ruining for some reason, so I think I was a little more cautious. But I was happy with how this one came out, but then when I see it from far away, I feel like it's like not quite bright enough for me. It seems a little washed out. So the final painting that I made is for our exhibition, and it's my cat Zook. And I'm happier with like these colors. I really didn't use as much white except on the flowers, and tried to keep everything really bright. So I feel like you can see that there's been a real change in my paintings in a short period of time, or not that short, it's been a year. But there's been a change in my paintings in a year. So, you know, this is my painting that I'm finishing the school year with, and this is the painting that I started the school year with. So I did this in August, and right now it's the very beginning of February the next year. So I'm pretty happy. I'm not quite sure what to do with such a large painting and where it's gonna live after, you know, the exhibition at school, but it was fun to make, and it's of my cat Zook. So there it is. So I'm gonna be going to school and dropping this off. I'm really tired. I just finished it this morning.